What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the SIG 365XL. Show you it's unloaded, nothing in the chamber, and nothing in this 15-round mag. So, with that being said, we'll get into kind of my overall impressions. So, if you watched my EDC video, I talked about this and my experience with it. This particular pistol has about 150 rounds through it now. I have shot close to probably 600 to 700 rounds of 9mm through several different 365XLs, and I just enjoyed them. I don't have much experience with the 365, just the normal 365 that SIG makes, but I would say that I would probably prefer this just because it has a larger grip. As you can see here, fits my hand pretty well. This is a 12-round mag, I should note, and this being the 15-round mag and the holster, but this just seems to fit my hand rather well. I have decently large hands, but the recoil on this is what sold me. So I have a Glock 19, and for the size comparison to the XL was just wasn't worth the 3 rounds that I was getting extra with the 19. Like I said, this is 12 rounds, and that is exponentially smaller than a Glock 19 magazine, but also just the whole gun in general is a lot smaller than 19. So what I would say is get you a nice holster like this. Is T-Rex Arms, the sidecar. I won't go too much in depth. I got this one, it was actually pretty cool. They said it was back ordered, and I ordered it and it literally shipped the next day. So they basically were, I guess, making it to order, which is pretty cool. Those dudes, I love T-Rex Arms. I won't sing their praises too much, but yeah, that would get you a good holster if you're gonna carry this gun concealed, which I'd highly recommend. Like I said, I went from a 19, I had a Gen 5 that I carried for, it was a Gen 5 MOS that I carried for probably about a year and a half, and just going to this feels like it's not even there compared to 19. It was actually kind of like astronomical difference between the two. But so we'll talk about the gun, some specs, and we'll kind of go a little more into my impressions later on. So this has the I believe it's called the X Series straight trigger. As you can see here, good bit of take up, then it hits that wall, and a nice break. It's probably about a 4 or 5 pound break. Crisp reset, you can definitely tell, audible. Nice break, do it one more time. Nice reset, almost forces your finger forward. A little creep and break. So not bad for what it is. They do come optics ready if you want to throw a micro red dot on there. I believe it's the 407 or 507. It might be the 507. I'll denote down in the description, or the bottom of this video, excuse me. Or you can put the SIG Romeo 0 on this handgun if you want. What's cool about the Romeo 0 is it actually replaces the back sight, rear sight, excuse me. Like this whole plate comes off, the rear sight comes off, but the Romeo 0 actually has a rear notch, which is pretty cool. Give you another view of the other side. So I've had it in the holster pretty good bit. You might be able to see just a little bit of wear there on the front end right here. Looks like the finish is kind of wearing off a little bit. Not a huge deal. I haven't had any issues with rust or anything like that, so that's good. But the overall length of this, lengthwise, is 6.6 inches, with the height being 4.8 inches from top to bottom. As you see it now, weighs 20.7 ounces unloaded. So pretty lightweight. It's, like I said, once it's in your pants, you can't really feel it. So 12 rounds, and then if you go with a sidecar or something like that, some other magazine that has a side riding magazine, obviously you're gonna add a little more weight. It just depends on what ammo you're carrying and the grainage of the bullet, but with this, as it sits, it's 20.7 ounces, which is pretty lightweight. It's comparable, I think, to a 19. It's just a lot less bulky. But like I said, I've had several hundred rounds through this, and I would highly recommend you at least check this gun out. Like I said, I would prefer it over the over the 365, just because it's a larger handgun. It's a little easier to hold, and when you're coming from a draw, it's a lot easier to get a hold of this grip as opposed to a smaller grip. But you know, it's user preference, and you train with what you got. Another thing that sold me was these sights that it comes with. You can see the 3-dot. The green front sight really shows up pretty vibrantly when you're trying to sight in on a target. So that's one thing that I really enjoyed was these sights. So this firearm comes with two 12-round mags, as you see here. Two of these 15-round mags. They are super pricey because SIG knows what they have. You know, everyone says they know what they have. SIG designed a solid magazine, and they charge a hefty price. So that 15-round mag is about $50 if you can find them, which is pretty ridiculous in my book, but you know, you pay for what you need. So I will give a comparison. You can kind of see with the sidecar how that 15-round mag sticks out. Give you a comparison if you were riding a 12-round mag. That's why I went with a 15-round mag, because it gives you a little bit extra to grab onto, about another inch or so. And we all know inches make a huge difference here. So size does matter. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. But with that being said, that's kind of my overall impressions of this handgun. Highly recommend you at least check it out. Go get your hands on it and drool all over it at the gun store. And if you can find a gun store that rents it for you can shoot it, I would highly recommend you try that as well, because you know, why wouldn't you want to try a gun before you buy it? You can get good deals on these. Primary Arms actually was selling them. My buddy was telling me he saw them for $600 and he wished he would have got one. But you know, you can get a package with the Romeo Zero or the handgun by itself. The Romeo Zero I think runs about $789 if you can find it. I believe PSA had them the other day for about $789. So yeah, if you guys have any questions on this firearm in particular, let me know, and I'll answer those best I can. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's been the Mosin Dude. Always remember where you came from and stay humble. See you on the next video.